We all face moments when life knocks us down, times when the weight of negative feelings, doubt, and frustration seem too much to carry. But I'm here to tell you today that the strength to overcome these feelings is already within you. You may not always feel it, but it's there, waiting to be unlocked. The journey to overcoming negativity doesn't have to be a long, impossible path. Sometimes all it takes is 3 simple steps: reset, restart, and refocus. We often go through life thinking that we are victims of our circumstances, as though our emotions, reactions, and outcomes are dictated by forces outside of our control. But the truth is, every single day we are presented with a powerful gift, the gift of choice. When faced with negativity or challenges, we have the ability to choose how we respond. It's a fundamental truth that we are not prisoners of our feelings, nor are we destined to be overwhelmed by life's difficulties. Consider this for a moment. No matter what happens to you, no matter how difficult the situation may seem, what really matters is how you decide to react. This is the first step to resetting your mindset. You might not be able to control everything that happens to you, but you can control how you react to it. Life might throw curveballs, but your response is always yours to decide. Now, I know it's not always easy. Negative feelings like anger, frustration, fear, and sadness can feel like powerful forces, sweeping through us and shaking us to the core. It's natural to want to respond immediately, to give in to those feelings and allow them to dictate our behavior. But here's where the power of choice truly lies. We don't have to let those feelings control us. We have the ability to pause, reflect, and choose a better response. When you realize that your response is within your control, it's like a light switch turning on in your mind. You stop reacting automatically, and you start acting intentionally. You stop blaming circumstances, people, or events for how you feel, and start taking responsibility for your emotional well-being. And that shift is profound. Think about a time in your life when something unexpected happened, and your first instinct was to feel frustrated or upset. Perhaps you lost a job, faced a personal setback, or dealt with an unfair situation. In those moments, it's easy to fall into the trap of negative thinking, feeling helpless, hopeless, or stuck. But when you embrace the power of choice, you realize that even in the face of adversity, you can choose to see things differently. Instead of focusing on what you don't have, you can choose to focus on what you do have. Instead of allowing yourself to be overwhelmed by fear, you can choose to approach the situation with courage. Instead of seeing failure, you can choose to see a lesson, an opportunity to grow stronger, smarter, and more resilient. It's all about how you choose to frame the situation. In every moment, you are creating your future through the choices you make today. If you choose to remain stuck in negative emotions, then you're reinforcing the belief that you are powerless. But if you choose to let go of those emotions and adopt a mindset of possibility, then you open the door to new opportunities, new perspectives, and new actions. The power of choice isn't about denying your emotions. It's not about pretending everything is fine when it's not. It's about recognizing that you are not at the mercy of your emotions, but rather that you have the ability to decide how you will respond, no matter how difficult the emotions may be. When you choose to take control of your response, you begin to reshape your reality. You start to understand that setbacks are not the end, but the beginning of something new. You start to see obstacles as stepping stones, not roadblocks. You begin to realize that no matter how hard life gets, you are never powerless. So when negative feelings arise, and they will, because that's just part of being human, take a moment to pause. Remind yourself that you have the power to choose. You don't have to let the negativity consume you. You don't have to let your circumstances define your response. Instead, choose to reset, choose to find a new perspective, and choose to rise above it. This is where your true power lies. This is where you reclaim control, and this is where you start your journey towards overcoming negative feelings. Embrace the power of choice and watch how your life begins to change. We live in a world that often encourages us to suppress or deny negative emotions, to get over it and move on as quickly as possible. There's this underlying belief that feeling upset, angry, or sad is somehow a weakness or something to be ashamed of. But let me tell you something. Emotions are part of being human. They don't make you weak. They make you real. And it's not about pushing them away. It's about acknowledging them and accepting them as a natural part of your emotional landscape. The first step to overcoming negative feelings is to allow yourself the space to feel them. It's tempting to run from emotions like sadness, anger, or frustration because they're uncomfortable, and we've been conditioned to think that we should always be happy or at least in control. But what happens when we try to push emotions down is that they don't disappear. They only get buried deeper, only to resurface later in ways that can be more destructive. It's like trying to hold a beach ball underwater. No matter how hard you push, it's going to come up sooner or later. And when it does, it might even hit you in the face with more intensity than if you'd let it float there in the first place. It's like trying to hold back tears. You may have been telling yourself that you need to go to therapy for this, but acknowledging your feelings isn't about letting them take control or letting them dictate your life. It's about being honest with yourself. It's about saying, yes, I'm feeling angry right now. Or yes, I'm feeling hurt or disappointed. And when you acknowledge these feelings, you stop pretending they don't exist. You stop lying to yourself and start getting real with yourself. Only then can you begin to move past them. And that's how you deal with yourself. You tell me, but acknowledgement is only one part of the process. The other key step is acceptance. Accepting your feelings means not judging yourself for having them. It means recognizing that it's okay to feel upset, that it's okay to feel like things aren't going the way you expected or hoped. Too often, we feel guilty for feeling bad as though we're failing at life because we're experiencing negative emotions. But the reality is, feelings don't need to be fixed, they just need to be felt. And when you allow yourself to feel, you allow yourself to heal. Acceptance also means recognizing that emotions, like all things in life, are temporary. Just because you're feeling sad or angry today doesn't mean you'll feel that way forever. Feelings are like waves. They come, they crash, and then they recede. And when you accept that your feelings are just temporary states, you give yourself permission to experience them without the pressure to get rid of them immediately. In a way, recognizing your feelings is like putting up with something that hurts. You give yourself permission to experience them without the pressure to get rid of them immediately. Acceptance doesn't mean resignation, though. It doesn't mean that you accept the situation or the negative behavior that may have caused the emotion. It simply means that you acknowledge where you are emotionally and give yourself the compassion and grace to work through it at your own pace. This is a powerful act of self-care because in a world that often demands perfection, you're allowing yourself the freedom to be human. One of the most important things about accepting your emotions is that it opens up the door for growth. When you fight your feelings or pretend they're not there, you block your own ability to learn from them. But when you accept them, you open up a space for introspection. Why are you feeling this way? What is this emotion trying to teach you? Sometimes our negative feelings point to something deeper that needs attention, something we've been avoiding or neglecting. Whether it's a need for change, a desire for a healthier boundary, or an opportunity for personal growth. Our emotions are like signposts guiding us to where we need to go. So, when you feel negative emotions, whether it's frustration, anger, fear, or sadness, don't run from them. Don't push them away. Instead, take a moment to acknowledge them. Say to yourself, I'm feeling this right now and it's okay. And then give yourself the permission to feel what you're feeling without judgment. In that space of acceptance, you'll find the strength to move forward. Because once you acknowledge and accept your feelings, you take the first step in transforming them. You free yourself from the weight of denial, and you open yourself up to healing. And from that place, you can begin the work of moving beyond those negative emotions, understanding them, and using them to fuel your personal growth. Remember, it's not about avoiding or repressing emotions. It's about embracing them, learning from them, and ultimately letting them go. Because when you acknowledge and accept your feelings, you give yourself the chance to move through them and into a better, more empowered version of yourself. When life presents challenges, it's easy to get caught up in everything that's going wrong, whether it's a difficult situation at work, a personal struggle, or even just the overwhelming pressure of daily responsibilities. We start to feel like everything is spiraling out of control, and it's easy to fall into a mindset of helplessness, thinking that our circumstances are dictating the course of our lives. But here's the truth. While we may not always be able to control our external circumstances, we always have control over one thing: the way we respond. When you shift your focus to what you can control, you take back your power. You stop giving away your energy and attention to things that are outside of your grasp, and instead direct your thoughts and actions toward areas where you have influence. This simple shift can be one of the most transformative steps you take in overcoming negativity, because it brings a sense of agency back into your life. It reminds you that even in the face of adversity, you can choose how to move forward. Think about a time when things felt out of control, when the world seemed like it was throwing one challenge after another at you. Maybe you found yourself obsessing over things you couldn't change, someone's hurtful words, a setback you didn't expect, or the actions of others that left you feeling powerless. The more you focus on these things, the more they can drain your energy, steal your peace, and keep you stuck in a cycle of frustration. But what if, instead of fixating on what you can't change, you shifted your attention to what you can? When you focus on what you can control, you take back the reins of your life. You focus on your thoughts, your behavior, and your choices. You can't always control how others behave or what the future holds, but you can control how you respond in any given moment. For example, if you're dealing with a difficult coworker or boss, you can't control their behavior, but you can control how you react to them. You can choose to remain calm, set boundaries, or decide to engage in constructive conversation rather than reacting impulsively. If you're going through a tough personal situation, you can't always control the outcome, but you can control how you take care of yourself, whether it's through rest, exercise, or seeking support from others. Or whatever you do. This shift in focus is incredibly powerful because it immediately puts you back in the driver's seat of your life. You are no longer a passive observer, subject to the whims of circumstances or the actions of others. Instead, you are an active participant in your own journey, making decisions that align with your values, goals, and vision for the future. Another important aspect of shifting your focus is redirecting your energy towards solutions rather than problems. It's natural to feel overwhelmed when things aren't going as planned, but the more you focus on the obstacles, the more they will consume your mind. When you refocus your attention on what you can do, no matter how small, you begin to move forward instead of staying stuck in the problem. It's like looking at a mountain from the bottom and feeling paralyzed by its size. But when you focus on the next step you need to take, the mountain becomes less daunting. You're no longer fixated on how high it is. You're focused on making progress, one step at a time. This doesn't mean that you ignore the challenges or pretend they aren't there. It means that you approach them with a mindset that says, I am not a victim of this situation. I will find a way to navigate through it. It's about empowering yourself, even in difficult times, by taking proactive steps towards solutions, no matter how small those steps may seem. In every situation, there is always something you can control. You can control how you respond, how you frame the situation, and how you choose to invest your energy. And when you focus on what you can control, you create momentum. That momentum builds confidence, and confidence leads to action. And action, no matter how small, is the antidote to helplessness and frustration. Shifting your focus is also about knowing when to let go of things that drain your energy and hinder your growth. There are things in life that are simply beyond our control, and it's crucial to recognize them and release them. We spend so much time stressing over things we can't change, whether it's the past, the actions of others, or situations that didn't go as planned. When you shift your focus to what you can control, you make a conscious decision to stop letting these things hold power over you. Ultimately, shifting your focus to what you can control isn't just about reacting to life's challenges. It's about owning your response and owning your life. When you stop focusing on what's outside of your control and start focusing on what you can change, your actions, your mindset, your reactions, you tap into an incredible source of strength and resilience. It's easy to feel powerless when life feels overwhelming, but remember, you are never without power. The power lies in your ability to choose where to direct your energy. Focus on what you can control, and watch how that simple shift transforms your experience of the world around you. When negative feelings weigh you down, it can feel like your sense of direction vanishes. The world becomes blurry, and it's easy to lose sight of why you're doing what you're doing in the first place. The dreams and goals that once inspired you might seem distant, and the energy to keep moving forward can feel drained. And in moments like these, the most important thing you can do is reignite your vision. The purpose that originally drove you, the dream that kept you going when things were tough, and the reason you started this journey to begin with. Reigniting your vision is not just about remembering what you want to achieve, it's about reconnecting with the why behind your goals. When you're bogged down by negative emotions, you might find yourself getting lost in the small, day-to-day struggles and frustrations. The bigger picture, the vision that once excited you, may feel out of reach or irrelevant. But that vision is the anchor that will keep you grounded. It's the light at the end of the tunnel, the North Star that guides you even when the road ahead is unclear. Start by reminding yourself of the vision you once had. Take a moment to reflect on the dreams, aspirations, and goals that first inspired you. Think about what it was that lit that fire inside you. What did you want to create or accomplish? What was the life you envisioned for yourself? Tap into that feeling, the excitement, the energy, the passion that made you believe anything was possible. Reconnect with that vision as if it's just as real and tangible now as it was when you first conceived it. But here's the thing. Your vision might have evolved over time. It might not look exactly the same as it did when you first started. Life has a way of shifting priorities, and that's okay. Reigniting your vision doesn't mean forcing yourself to chase after a version of success that no longer aligns with who you are. It's about finding the essence of what you truly want deep down and reigniting the drive to pursue it. Sometimes negative emotions arise when we feel disconnected from our purpose. We get caught up in the grind, in the stress, or in the weight of expectations, and we forget why we started. When you reignite your vision, you give yourself permission to align your actions with your passions and your values. You ask yourself, is this the life I want? Is this the path I want to be on? And if the answer is no, then it's time to reassess and realign your steps. Your vision isn't static. It's something that can be adjusted, fine-tuned, and refocused as you grow and evolve. Whew. To reignite your vision, it's also important to remind yourself of the impact that your journey has. It's easy to get lost in the pursuit of success or achievement and forget that your goals often have a ripple effect beyond just you. Whether it's providing for your family, inspiring others with your work, or making a difference in your community, your vision isn't just about personal gain. It's about contributing to something larger than yourself. When you reconnect with the bigger picture, you remember that your efforts matter. You're not just moving through life aimlessly, you're building something meaningful, something that will leave a lasting mark on the world. In times of struggle, your vision can be the fuel that reignites your determination. When negative feelings try to push you down, remind yourself of your bigger why. The road may be tough, but the destination is worth it. When you remember why you started, you'll find the strength to keep going even when it seems like everything is working against you. Your vision becomes the motivation that propels you through the hard times. The reason you wake up every morning ready to take on the world. By the way, this curriculum is guaranteed to make you happy, because when you wake up every morning ready to take on the world, and don't be afraid to revisit and redefine your vision as you grow. Life changes, people change, and circumstances evolve. What you wanted a year ago might not be what you want now, and that's okay. In fact, it's a sign of growth. The process of reigniting your vision is ongoing. It's about checking in with yourself and asking, what do I want today? What will inspire me to keep moving forward right now? By continually reigniting your vision, you ensure that you're living with purpose, with intention, and with a sense of direction. Finally, remember that your vision isn't something that happens overnight. It's the journey. The path may be full of setbacks and detours, but it's your vision that will help you navigate through it all. So when negative feelings try to pull you away from your purpose, take a deep breath and remind yourself of your vision. Rekindle that flame. Allow yourself to dream again, to believe again, and to take action again. Reigniting your vision is about reigniting your belief in yourself, your potential, and the incredible possibilities that await you on the other side of these challenges. Your vision is the heart of your journey. When you reignite it, you reignite your will to keep moving, to keep fighting, and to never give up on what matters most to you. Keep that vision alive and let it lead you through every storm, every setback, and every moment of doubt. Because with a clear vision, there is nothing you can't overcome. The environment you surround yourself with has a profound impact on how you feel and how you perform. Whether it's the physical spaces you inhabit, the people you interact with, or even the digital content you consume, your environment plays a significant role in shaping your thoughts, emotions, and actions. When you're struggling with negative feelings, one of the most powerful things you can do is shift your environment and your circle. Consider this. You can be surrounded by clutter, negativity, or distractions that make it harder for you to focus, stay positive, or maintain a clear sense of purpose. The physical environment, from the state of your home to your workspace, can either uplift or drain you. A messy, chaotic space often reflects a disorganized, cluttered mind, and it can heighten feelings of stress, overwhelm, and frustration. On the other hand, a clean, organized, and peaceful environment can have the opposite effect. It can help you think more clearly, feel more grounded, and create a sense of calm that allows you to focus on what really matters. It can create a peace of mind, more grace, more compassion, more joy, more peace. Shifting your environment starts with making intentional changes to the spaces around you. This might mean decluttering your home or workspace, creating an atmosphere that fosters productivity and peace, or even incorporating elements that inspire and motivate you, like a vision board, uplifting quotes, or plants that bring life into your space. Small adjustments like changing the lighting, adding soothing music, or clearing away unnecessary distractions make a world of difference. When you actively create a space that supports your mental and emotional well-being, you signal to yourself that you deserve an environment that fosters positivity and growth. But it's not just about your physical environment. It's also about the people you surround yourself with, the circle of influence that shapes your mindset and attitudes. The people in your life can either elevate you or bring you down, and often without even realizing it. If you're constantly around negative, critical, or draining individuals, their energy can seep into your own thoughts and emotions, leaving you feeling stuck, frustrated, or disheartened. Negative energy is contagious, and if you're surrounded by people who constantly complain, criticize, or spread fear, it becomes harder for you to stay positive and focused on your goals. This is why it's crucial to evaluate the people in your circle and ask yourself, are they lifting me up or are they holding me back? You have the power to choose who you spend time with. While it's not always easy to distance yourself from people, especially if they're close friends or family, it's important to recognize that you are responsible for your own emotional health. Surround yourself with people who encourage you, challenge you to grow, and make you feel good about yourself. Seek out individuals who have a positive outlook on life, who celebrate your successes, and who help you see possibilities instead of obstacles. These are the people who will help you navigate through difficult times, offering not just support, but also the kind of energy that inspires you to keep going. Shifting your circle might also mean finding new communities or mentors who align with your values and aspirations. Whether it's joining a group of like-minded individuals, connecting with a coach, or finding a supportive peer network, being around people who share your goals and understand your struggles can be incredibly empowering. These people don't just support you, they push you, they inspire you, and they help you see your potential when you can't see it yourself. A positive, growth-oriented environment creates a sense of momentum, helping you stay focused on your goals and keeping you from getting bogged down by negativity. In addition to shifting your physical environment and your circle of people, it's also essential to consider the content you consume daily. In today's digital world, it's easy to become overwhelmed by the constant flow of news, social media, and online content that can fuel negativity, fear, and anxiety. The things you read, watch, or listen to can either uplift your spirit or drain your energy. However, if you find yourself regularly consuming negative news, toxic social media posts, or content that makes you feel worse about your life or yourself, it might be time to make some changes. Consider limiting your exposure to content that leaves you feeling drained, angry, or fearful. Instead, curate your digital environment by following accounts, pages, or channels that inspire you, educate you, and make you feel empowered. There's so much positivity available online. Motivational speakers, self-help resources, educational content, and uplifting stories. Surround yourself with content that feeds your mind and spirit rather than content that feeds negativity and despair. Shifting your environment and your circle is about taking control of the energy around you. It's about choosing to create an environment, both physical and emotional, that supports your well-being, your goals, and your personal growth. When you remove the toxic elements and replace them with positivity, you give yourself the best possible chance to thrive. Your surroundings should be a reflection of who you are and who you are becoming. The people you spend time with should be your cheerleaders, not your critics. And the content you consume should inspire you, not discourage you. By shifting your environment and your circle, you actively take steps to protect your peace, your mindset, and your emotional health This is not a passive process. It requires you to be intentional and conscious of the influences around you. But when you make these changes, you'll begin to notice a shift in your own energy. You'll feel more motivated, more empowered, and more focused on achieving your goals. And with the right environment and the right people by your side, you'll find that overcoming negativity becomes not only possible, but inevitable. Taking consistent action is one of the most powerful ways to overcome negative feelings. It might sound simple, but when you're in the midst of emotional turmoil or facing challenges, the idea of action can seem overwhelming. However, it's often in the very act of moving forward, no matter how small the steps, that we begin to break free from negativity. Action is not just about achieving big results. It's about creating momentum, shifting your mindset, and building the resilience needed to push through difficult times. When negative feelings take hold, it's easy to feel stuck. You might be paralyzed by fear, doubt, or uncertainty, unsure of where to start or what to do next. It's in these moments that the most important thing you can do is take the first step. No matter how small it may seem, taking action, even when you don't feel ready, is what shifts your focus from the problem to the solution. It's the key to moving forward and regaining a sense of control over your life. The beauty of consistent action is that it doesn't require perfection. You don't have to wait until everything is in place, or until you feel fully confident, or until all the conditions are just right. The truth is, those perfect conditions may never come. But by taking action, you begin to build confidence in yourself. Every small step forward reminds you that you are capable, that you have the strength to keep going, and that you can trust yourself to navigate through challenges. Consistent action is about breaking the cycle of inaction, which can be one of the most paralyzing effects of negative emotions. When you're stuck in a pattern of fear, frustration, or hopelessness, inaction feeds into those emotions. The longer you stay stuck, the more your negative feelings can take root and grow. But when you take action, you interrupt that cycle. Each small action, no matter how insignificant it may feel at the moment, chips away at the emotional weight you're carrying. It's like taking a stone from a backpack, one by one, until eventually the load feels lighter and the path forward becomes clearer. Taking action also shifts your focus. When you're overwhelmed by negative emotions, your mind can become consumed with what's going wrong, what you don't have, or what you're afraid of losing. But when you focus on the next step, you move your attention from what you can't control to what you can. Whether it's taking a small action toward a personal goal, making a positive change in your routine, or simply choosing to take care of your physical and mental well-being, each action pulls your focus back to what you can influence. And this shift in focus is often the first step in overcoming negativity. This is the last sentence in my recounting, perhaps, of some of the recountings. I've tried my best to keep it. Moreover, taking consistent action creates momentum. Momentum is powerful. It has a way of propelling you forward even when the road ahead seems daunting. Think of it like pushing a heavy object. At first it's difficult, and it feels like you're making little progress. But once you get it moving, it becomes easier to keep it moving. The same is true with action. The more you take, the more momentum you build, and the easier it becomes to continue. That momentum starts to work for you instead of against you, and you'll find that taking action becomes less daunting over time. Another key aspect of taking consistent action is that it builds discipline. It teaches you to show up for yourself, even when you don't feel like it. When negative feelings take over, it can be tempting to give up or to retreat into comfort. But true growth happens when you push past those feelings and choose to act anyway. Consistent action builds resilience and mental toughness because it forces you to take responsibility for your goals, your emotions, and your life. It's not about waiting for the right moment or for everything to fall into place. It's about making progress no matter how small, every single day. Taking action is also a way to prove to yourself that you are capable. It's easy to let negative feelings convince you that you're not good enough or that you're destined for failure. But each time you take action, you push back against those limiting beliefs. You show yourself that you have the ability to create change, to move forward, and to improve your situation. It's in the doing that you prove to yourself that you are not defined by your emotions or circumstance. You are defined by your ability to keep moving, to keep learning, and to keep growing. Consistency is the key here. Action doesn't need to be monumental every time. It just needs to be consistent. Whether it's setting aside a few minutes each day to work on your goals, taking time each morning to focus on your mental and physical health, or simply choosing to do something productive instead of dwelling on negativity, consistency makes a huge difference. Over time, those small, consistent actions compound, and you'll begin to see the positive changes you've been working toward. In conclusion, the act of taking consistent action is not just about achieving your goals. It's about moving through your emotions and shifting your mindset. It's about proving to yourself that you are in control, that you have the strength to push through the hard times, and that no matter how small the steps, they all add up to something significant. Negative feelings can be overwhelming, but they are no match for consistent, intentional action. Keep taking those steps forward, no matter how small, and you'll find yourself overcoming negativity and creating the life you desire.